UFC Vegas 77. This is the weigh-in recap show, full card predictions and the betting breakdown. Looking forward to talking about each of the matchups after seeing the fighters on the scales. Make sure you guys smash that like button. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Turn the post notifications on and make sure to share the video as well. Note, full card fight companion tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Make sure you tune into the channel. Looking forward to being live for the entire card. And let's get into our first fight of the night. We have Ashley Evans-Smith versus Ailin Perez. I've been picking Ailin Perez. I do believe she is going to have an advantage on the floor here with the physical strength as well. And she's been way more active than Ashley Evans-Smith, who's been out of the game for 2.5 years now, looking to make a comeback at 36 years of age. 8 years older than Ailin Perez. I believe ring rust is going to be a factor. So I've been picking Perez to win this fight. As far as calling a method of victory prediction here, I'm kind of feeling like we have a chance that Perez wins a grind-heavy decision. But note, when fighters been out a while, if Perez comes out real hard, it wouldn't be crazy if she was able to TKO or maybe even sub an Evans-Smith. But I really do more lean TKO. You can see a lot of TKOs here. Ground and pound, Perez bringing bullying pressure. Method of victory, it's whatever here. The official pick is Ailin Perez. Now, I do want to bring up the scales and check these ladies out. Now, there is Ailin Perez, who I expected to look good, looks very good on the scale, coming in good shape, on weight, no issues. Ashley Evans-Smith, who's been out a while, actually looks solid too. I just am going to be concerned about the layoff. The official prediction will be Ailin Perez by unanimous decision, but with ring rust, there's always a possibility of a very slow start. And then Ailin Perez, somebody who can definitely come out the gate fairly quickly, could definitely capitalize. So give me Ailin Perez for the win to start the night off. Feeling decent about it. At minus 250, it's not a great tag. When Ashley Evans-Smith was consistently fighting, I think this is a real interesting matchup because Evans-Smith is decent with the kickboxing, and she's a hard girl to finish. I don't like a long layoff, especially past 35. Plus 210 is the dog, is Ashley Evans-Smith. I like the minus 250 favorite in Ailin Perez. Note that Ailin Perez opened up at all the way minus 450, so the line has come down a bit. Probably going to be going longer, but I'm not going to be playing an over in this fight here. Perez to win by decision, official call, plus 160. And then even Perez by TKO, which I mentioned the possibility at plus 350, is not a crazy tag. I'll pick Ailin Perez. I think decision, but definitely knockout is live. Perez for the victory to start the night off. Next fight on the card, we got Carl Deaton III versus Alex Munoz. I've been picking Alex Munoz all week long. I do think he's got a clear-cut athleticism, speed, and wrestling advantage over the tough Carl Deaton. I'll expect Alex Munoz to win this fight using his wrestling and even having some moments on the feet. I'm taking a unanimous decision. We will bring up the scales, but, don't anticipate much of a change here. There is Carl Deaton, who, to be fair, he looks decent on the scales. He's in shape to fight. And then Munoz looking actually quite shredded here. And then we got the face-off. You can see Munoz a bit taller, a bit longer. It's a favorable matchup for him. You look at the Luis Pena loss that he had. Pena's significantly taller and longer. That was a tricky matchup. He still made it close. I think that Alex Munoz here, good position, good fight. Back-end guy at lightweight. This should be his first win in the UFC. I'm pretty confident Alex Munoz wins a unanimous decision in this fight. As far as the odds, they're a little bit wide towards Munoz. They were closer at points, opening at minus 160, but it's minus 210 for Munoz. Deaton at plus 175. Yeah, I think Munoz is I'd say like a fairly sure winner, but will throw up some yellow flags if you are considering him throwing in the parlay or maybe you're even money lining him. But note that he's 0-2 in the UFC. Note that he's coming in off of a bit of a layoff, and he's the same age as Carl Deaton III, just less experience as a pro. Now, regardless of that fact, as I said earlier, I think he's the better athlete, the better wrestler, and I think the trickier fighter to deal with. So give me Munoz by a judge's decision. Now, Munoz to win it on the cards is plus 150. Not all that crazy about that prop. You could see Munoz in a parlay. We'll talk parlays at the end, and maybe I'll throw Munoz in one of them to have a little prelim parlay. Munoz for the W in our second fight of the night. Let's keep running up. Next fight on the card, battle between Tyson Nam and Azat Maksum. I'm very high on the prospect, Azat Maksum, as I think most people are going to be, picking him to win here. He has tremendous striking from distance, a really good boxing style with straights, also very competent and capable on the floor. He's also 11 years younger than Tyson Nam. Now, Nam is a very explosive guy. You got to think now at 39, that explosiveness is going to, start to fade. Last thing that leaves is power. As far as the flyweight division, Tyson Nam has always been a very heavy-handed fighter. He got beaten up bad against Bueno Silva last time. Maksum 16-0 with all the confidence in the world coming in from Kazakhstan. I'm going with the Kazakhstani. I'm going with Azat Maksum. I think that he's going to win this fight. Clean TKO. I like inside the distance. I've said that all week long. The inside the distance prop, I think, is actually pretty good. We'll talk about the bets in just a moment, but I will bring up the face-off just for, the sake of the weigh-in show. There's Azat Maksum, who, doesn't look like a bodybuilder on the scales, but we learned with Steve Erceg, you can't really judge these flyweights based on being skinny. Tyson Nam, decent shape. Looks like he just had a Jolly Rancher or something. Pretty lean. I think he's in trouble, though. I feel like Maksum's stopping him. It's more about method of victory prediction is where, things could get a little tricky. I've called TKO as my method of victory prediction all week. Azat Maksum is a minus 415 favorite. He is very wide to money line. Tyson Nam plus 315 is the dog. I will say this, though, as far as, Maksum to win inside of the distance, I don't think it is a bad bet. The line for Maksum inside distance sits at minus 125. At one point, he was sitting at minus 120, I believe. And at open, we had that line all the way at plus 150. It was played heavily, and I don't blame people. The method of victory, not calling knockout or sub, I do think Maksum can hurt Nam with the hands, but who's to say he doesn't hurt him and then finish him off with the submission? At plus 250 sub, plus 210 Maksum TKO. I'll call TKO, but the confidence, I'll say it again. I'm going to keep reiterating it. I've said it all week. Minus 125 is my favorite prop in this fight here. Azat Maksum to get the win. It should be a pretty clean W, and I think we have a really fun prospect in the flyweight division from Kazakhstan. Next fight on the card, Genaro Valdéz versus Evan Elder. I've been picking Evan Elder throughout the entire week. I do think he's going to be rather dangerous with his hands and with the wrestling. I see him as the more explosive and powerful guy than Genaro Valdéz, who's a good brawler and has decent hands and is tough, but puts himself into spots to get hit, and I think he could get stunned here. Valdéz last time out lost to Natan Levy, who I'd say is a lot less dangerous than an Evan Elder. So yeah, I got to ride with the side of Evan Elder by TKO. Matt Frevola TKO'd Genaro Valdéz. Evan Elder, tough debut against Preston Parsons. Really impressed in a doctor's stoppage loss against Nazim Sadykhov, who's fighting later on this card. So give me Evan Elder for the win confidently. I think he's pulling this shit off. Give me Evan Elder. Let's pull these guys up. We missed the face-off between Maksum and Nam. I was so confident in Maksum, I didn't even need to face him off here. But that is the face-off for the last fight. There is Genaro Valdéz throwing the heart out to the people. There is the front double bicep flex by Evan Elder. He looks confident as hell. Very Chad-like for Evan Elder. And then there's the face-off. Yeah, I got Evan Elder to win. I think Valdéz will be tough early. I can see Elder stopping him in the second or third. I mean, it wouldn't blow my mind either if they ended up going all 3 rounds. But Evan Elder has the stopping power to potentially get him out of there. He's a 3-1 favorite. Minus 300 line for Elder is wide. Valdéz sitting at plus 250. You're playing with fire with the over 1.5 at minus 145. But Valdéz is... He's not a bitch, I mean, I know he's brutally stopped by Frevola, but before that fight, he was 10-0. You look at Parsons, I mean, he does have a good amount of TKO wins. Let's quickly check this note about Parsons. How many first-round knockouts does he have? 3 in the first, 1 in the third round, and then he's got 1 sub in the second round. There's a chance that he may end up becoming Mr. Decision here. Valdéz could be dangerous in the first, but he could also get caught in the first. So I actually don't like the over 1.5. The under's cool at plus money, but likelihood of it, you're coin flipping really, because I think either one of these could potentially come through, but Elder is dangerous early. Valdéz, I think he could get hurt early. Elder by TKO is my official prediction, it sits at plus 140. So Evan Elder for the TKO win. Confident. I feel pretty good about him beating Genaro Valdéz rather. So give me Evan Elder, the Phenom, TKO. Next fight on the card, we have Austin Lingo versus Melquizael Costa. I've been picking Melquizael Costa. I think he's got a clear-cut grappling advantage here. Lingo's a pretty boxing-dominant fighter. I can see the kicks also working for Costa from range. I can see him getting a hold of Lingo and taking his back. I'm going to say he strangles him. First, second, even in the third, it would be live too. At some point, I expect Costa to get the finish here, and it's going to be by a submission. He has a much more well-versed game than Austin Lingo that I really think he's going to showcase here. Let's pull up the scales. There is Melquizael Costa rocking the blue hair. Looks pretty lean. There is Austin Lingo looking like Austin Lingo does. Solid in shape. Face off there between these men. Scales are not going to tell a significant picture. I think that Melquizael Costa just has more tools within his tool shed to use. And the ones that he has are pretty sharp, being the grappling especially. But his kicks are good too. He does have a solid stand-up game. He's not, a one-dimensional grappler by any means, but I do think submission is very live. So Melquizael Costa, official prediction is going to be him winning by sub. He's a bit of a wide favorite now at minus 260. Originally at open, it was just minus 154, so it's spread a bit. Plus 220, Austin Lingo, the underdog. Costa to win it. Inside of the distance for Costa still gives you plus money at plus 135. I do feel fairly good about him winning by a submission, which sits at plus 375. As does knockout, but I'm glad to see you're still getting plus money for inside distance if it's something you're unsure about, because if you dig into Melquizael Costa, it's not like he doesn't have knockouts. Nearly 50-50. We have 6 subs and we have 7 knockouts. He can get it done either way, and recent wins, past 2 wins, right? He's getting knockouts. Win before that, he's getting a submission here. I feel like sub is, though, very live with Lingo, who was strangled last time out. So give me Melquizael Costa to win by submission, but I don't think it's a bad idea to touch inside distance, even though the line is less juicy for the likelihood, because I do think he will work towards a finish here. Costa for the W over Austin Lingo. Next fight on the card, it's Istela Nunes versus Victoria Dudakova. Now, I've been picking Dudakova all week, but not suggesting anybody really go throw down on a 6-0 female who's only 24 years of age with, minimal high-level experience, who does have good top control, obviously can get fights to the floor and control them there. Istela Nunes has shown not to be all that great in the grappling department. I think Dudakova has a chance to submit her here. We will pull up the face-offs, though, and check these ladies out. Istela Nunes comes in shape. She looks confident. I like how she looks. Dudakova looks solid, too. I will say, tell me if I'm wrong, Dudakova looks extremely stiff in this face-off. Like, stiff enough that if she's caught in the striking, she could get chinned by an Istela Nunes in this fight. Am I crazy for saying that? Because I don't think so. Look at how stiff she is here. I saw that and I said, man, I see somebody that is going to be clunky on the feet. If Istela Nunes can stay upright, she could hurt her. Now, I'm not flipping my prediction. I'll stick with the Dudakova side, but a lot of women that come in early in their run can take some L's. Not suggesting anyone bet on Dudakova. I will say, betting wise, this would be more so of a dog or pass. If you're like, man, I think there's a 40% chance Istela Nunes gets to her and might TKO her, listen, she's gone distance with Sam Hughes. Plus 170, I don't think Istela Nunes would be a bad dog stab regardless of what your prediction for this fight is going to be. Betting-wise, she is much better than betting a minus 194 Victoria Dudakova. By TKO for Nunes, it sits at plus 475. I do think that's an interesting sniper TKO prop for somebody. So picking against her, technically speaking, because I see if Dudakova as good as advertised and with her top control from there, she should be able to lock in position and kind of grind out a one-dimensional Istela Nunes. But if Nunes has made some improvements in her takedown defense, in her get-ups, and if she is able to get into striking, Dudakova Dudakova looked incredibly stiff at the face-off. So dog or pass fight, official pick, still riding with Dudakova. I'm not flipping it just for the dog money. But betting-wise, to make a little something potentially in a fight where it's 50-50, I would say Istela Nunes could be live. So Dudakova the pick, but Nunes is an interesting underdog. Next fight on the card is the featured prelim of the night. It's Tucker Lutz versus Baghdasaryan. I've been picking Tucker Lutz as an underdog here. I do think that you look at him as a pro 12-3 record, 8-0 amateur. He is a lot more experienced in the entire game. Yes, Baghdasaryan has a dangerous kickboxing background. Yes, he's fought in boxing as well, and his striking is off the charts. The problem lies upon, I see him in the later stages, second round, third round, definitely backed up against the cage, controlled and taken down. It's about the first round. Can Tucker Lutz close the gap in the first round, get a hold of Baghdasaryan, potentially take him to the floor? But even if unable to take him to the floor, is he able to back him up against the cage and wear on him? With a striker like Baghdasaryan, you'll gas him by putting your pressure on him against the cage, employing your will upon him and wearing on him, making you carry his weight. And then the takedowns will open up in the second and third round. That I do think is where Tucker Lutz is going to shine at his most. I feel like submission is very live. Now, I'm not just saying sub is live because Josh Kulabeo sub Melsic last time out. I do say, hey, Josh Kulabeo is a striker. He got one beautiful position on Baghdasaryan and strangled him. Tucker Lutz is an MMA striker, but is based upon his grappling first. Yes, he has okay striking. I think if he tries to get into a kickboxing match here, he will find himself on his ass and hurt. But if he's smart, using his strikes to set up clinch work and takedowns, I expect him to be victorious. So Tucker Lutz has been my pick all week, and I feel pretty good about him pulling off the win if he sticks to a pretty competent game plan. Tucker Lutz looks shredded and in shape. He's only 29. Note that Baghdasaryan, 31, 2 years his senior, also getting into MMA later. I'm going with the Tucker Lutz side to win this thing. I'm going with the more well-versed MMA fighter. There's Baghdasaryan, and I'll tell you at the face-offs. This is a body language read. Maybe it's out there, maybe it's not. Baghdasaryan, to me, seems to slightly be overlooking a Tucker Lutz because you look at his last fight, he lost to a Daniel Pineda. He was stunned in that fight. Obviously has a couple losses in a row now. Prior to that, it was Pat Sabatini, and he beat Kevin Aguilar, who's no longer with the promotion, prior to that fight. Tucker Lutz is only 29, so let's not live in a fantasy land where he's a complete washed out guy that has no chance to do anything in the UFC. Baghdasaryan is a rather impressive striker and he's super explosive. He's still 31 years of age. Lutz can get control of him, take him down, and work towards a submission. So I am going to say Tucker Lutz for the win by a second or third round sub, but money line is, in my opinion, your biggest A side in this matchup. Looking at the money line odds, Lutz went from plus 185 all the way down now. It was upwards of plus 210, all the way down to plus 126. Baghdasaryan minus 146 as the favorite here in this fight. Tucker Lutz by submission, which I don't think is crazy to say, but ultimately plus 650. Decision for Tucker Lutz, also very live, plus 300. Big juice though, man. It's big plus money, plus 650 for that sub if he is able to do it. But if he does grind out a decision win, there will be no shock on my face. Decisions plus 300. Your best chance of cashing this dog is not risking it by trying to prop things up, but rather playing plus money on Tucker Lutz to win. I have Tucker Lutz to win. Ride in with him here to close out the prelims. He's going to beat Baghdasaryan, and I called him the underdog lock of the card. So let's go Tucker Lutz. Let's keep running up, and let's get to our main card. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button, and if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. We have Terrance McKinney versus Nazim Sadykhov. I've been picking Nazim Sadykhov, but the more the week goes on, I'm just hearing whispers of Terrance McKinney in my ear. I'm feeling, I don't know, that gut feeling inside that Terrance McKinney is rather live in this matchup here. And then you add into the fact he's sitting at a plus 125 underdog. Things are interesting. We will pull up the face-offs between these two, but I have been picking Sadykhov. Note he's a more technical fighter, though Evan Elder was able to get to him a bit on the feet, and Terrance McKinney is definitely more quick and explosive than Evan. There is Terrance McKinney on the scale. There is Nazim Sadykhov on the scale, and there's a face-off. McKinney a little bit taller, looks very confident. I don't know. He has a certain demeanor in his eyes. 5'10 to 5'10. Reach advantage, 73.5 to what? 69. So a 4.5-inch reach advantage for Terrance McKinney. He's a more explosive athlete. He came in shape, and he has a fucking confident face. He also talked a little bit about training with Kevin Holland, which is pretty funny because Kevin Holland supposedly is smoking joints while he's strangling him, which is pretty badass. Man, I guess I can't go against my gut. When I want to pick flip it, I'm not trying to just pick flip left, right, and stupidly all the time. I'm trying to limit it to moments where I feel like I will be extremely disappointed if I refuse to do as such. So you know what? I'm going to pick flip to Terrance McKinney to get it done. I'm seeing a TKO for him now, and he looks very good on the scale. Give me Terrance McKinney to knock out Nazim Sadykhov. Pick flip on the first fight of the main card. Yes, he's an underdog, plus 121. Nazim Sadykhov at minus 141. I'm going to say a hungry Terrance McKinney comes out. Now, it's interesting looking at the over at plus 160. Depends what we get from McKinney. It depends what we get from McKinney. McKinney to win by a TKO is plus 250. McKinney just inside distance is plus 160. McKinney TKO is just screaming at me. So plus 250 TKO I think is live. Yeah, I'm going to go with the gut. I'm going to go with McKinney to pull it off. Prediction flip at the weigh-ins. We're going Terrance McKinney now against my Sunday breakdown of Nazim Sadykhov as the pick. So who are you going to trust? AJ on Friday or AJ on Sunday? I'm going with my intuition, and I'm going with what I saw on the scale. I'm going with Terrance McKinney to pull off the upset against Nazim Sadykhov. Next fight on the card, we got the ladies going after it here, and I heard they had a little backstage brawl too. Now, I didn't get too out of hand, but they had to be separated. It's Norma Dumont versus Chelsea Chandler, Stockton's own Chelsea Chandler. I like her a lot, but I got to pick Norma Dumont to win this fight as the more experienced and technical fighter, and she's really good at winning decisions, and that's what I'm going to say she does here. That's what she's going to do. Chelsea Chandler's more entertaining and explosive, for sure, but I got to go with Chelsea Chandler winning a decision. Or Chelsea Chandler winning a decision. Now Chandler's going to end up winning a decision. But no, I got to go with Norma Dumont winning a decision. There's Chelsea Chandler. Looks rather chubby on the scale. There is Norma Dumont, who looks in pretty solid shape. And there's a pretty intense face-off. Dumont is just a much more seasoned fighter. She's much more technical. Chandler's dog tough and entertaining. And let's be real, if I told you that was the, Diaz sister, she looks like she's part of the crew. The way she moves, even her facial expression, even the way her jaw comes out, she looks like she's related to the Diazes. So I'm going to go Norma Dumont to win as the more technical fighter over the dog tough and I think fan favorite in Chelsea Chandler. We're going Dumont by decision. Betting side, kind of not that intriguing to me. Minus 141, Dumont, Chandler plus 121. I think this is going to be a stay away fight for me. I've talked about maybe with an over, but at minus 240, and there's still a chance that Chandler could catch a Norma Dumont and knock her out, because let's be honest here, Norma Dumont was chinned against Megan Anderson some time ago, though she's been very good since then. It's just something to note. Chelsea Chandler does have a bit of pop in her hands, but she's just not experienced enough for me to pick. So Dumont by decision will be my official prediction. The prop bet for that, Dumont by decision, is just plus 110, plus 115. Dumont should win. She's a minus 140 favorite, but it's not one of my favorite bets to back. Give me Norma Dumont, though. Official prediction. She wins it by a unanimous decision. I did actually talk a little bit about how wide it is for her to win by a finish here. Norma Dumont, what was it? Norma Dumont by sub is plus 900. She probably doesn't sub her, but it is crazy wide. But we're just plus 900 for TK. We're chasing fucking like pots of gold at rainbows trying to get that plus 900. Probably not a good idea. Dumont's a decision queen, an expected decision out of her here. They're probably going long unless Chelsea Chandler chins her. Next fight on the card, it's Albert Duraev versus Jun Young Park. I've been picking Albert Duraev to win as an underdog. I think he's a very good dog, a live dog. dog that's going to win. I'm confident that he's the better wrestler here, and I think he's pretty competent in the stand-up, that he can match a Jun-Young Park. I'd say Park in pure boxing might be a little bit more powerful. In the wrestling department, Duraev is going to stick to him like glue. I don't think Park is going to be able to land really any takedowns here, so if things are not going great for him offensively on the feet, or if he's getting taken down, can he get back up? I think he's going to get worn on. Chain wrestling attack by Duraev. I've been calling a Duraev sub. I'm thinking in the later stages, it's going to be a Duraev sub. Let's pull up the scales between these fighters. More of the ladies just getting intense as hell. They got the wrong order, man. Come on. What are we doing with this order? Jun-Young Park looking calm, cool, confident on the scale. Is that a staph infection on his chest? That might be staph infection on his chest, guys. That should, I don't know. Is that staph? Somebody that's a staph expert, let me know in the comments. But that could be. I think that definitely could be. Interesting. And then there's Albert Duraev on the other side. There's the face-off. I think that Duraev has this fight. It's been a mismarked line all week. I told you guys, I said, man, when this fight opened up, I was expecting Albert Duraev to be probably the same line that you're going to see Park at here as the favorite. Jun-Young Park is a minus 151 favorite. Albert Duraev a plus 131 dog. That is a mismark to me. I'm on the Duraev side. I think that he's going to win this fight. It's a mismarked underdog. He's one of my favorite dogs on the card. He's a really good one. That's weird. I don't get why he's a big dog, or not a big dog, but I don't get why he's a dog against Jun-Young Park here. He opened up at even money. The clear wrestling edge. Duraev's going to win the fight. Albert Duraev by sub plus 425. I don't think it's impossible in the later stages of the fight. Let's see. Duraev wins round 3 or decision. Nah, there's nothing good there. There's nothing good there. Duraev by sub, though, is rather live here at a pretty big plus 425 tag. But I just like straight money line always, because he could go out there and grind a decision win, and then what? We're going to be kicking ourselves. Damn it, we just played the sub prop. Sometimes you take a little less plus money to secure your victory, and I think that's the Albert Duraev money line underdog side. Let's keep running, and let's get to our next matchup, which is the featured bout of the night. It's Ottman Azaitar versus Francisco Prado. I've been picking Francisco Prado. I think he's going to chin Ottman Azaitar here. 5'11 to 5'8, 76-inch reach to 71, 21 years of age to 33. Azaitar coming off of a bad knockout loss. Prado in the last one lost a hard-fought decision against Jamie Mullarkey in his debut. Prado, I think, inside is dangerous too, even though, he's a bit taller than Ottman Azaitar. Azaitar's going to come at him with a lot of pressure, but he gets reckless, man. He gets really reckless. He would be a damn good street fighter because he's coming at you with everything. But when you get in the cage, you have a guy as skilled as Prado on the other side who's a veteran, or rather, he's not a veteran, I guess you could say, but an experienced prospect, 11-0. I mean, there's not a huge gap in the amount of fights that these two have. One's just 21, the other's 33. I think Prado hurts him with a counter. I think that Ottman comes out way too aggressive and gets caught with a big punch. So give me Prado for the win. I do have concerns a little bit about that Azaitar chin as well. We got to go the other direction now. All right, there is Prado, who looks pretty solid on the scale, shredded up at 21. Kind of looks like a Hispanic Drew Dober for sure. And then Ottman Azaitar with the front double bicep. He looks shredded as hell. I give respect where it's due, man. The dude's coming to win. It's going to be a great fight. I think both guys are going to bring the fire. I'll expect Prado to knock him out, though. That's what I'm going to call as the official prediction. I do think this fight is ending inside of the distance. We'll look at all those lines in just a second here. Now, Prado is a slight favorite at minus 117. Azaitar minus 103 as the underdog. I do like under 2.5 at minus 205. I expect a finish in this fight. It's going to be a war. One of those battle fights where they just go after it. Let's see. Do we have knockout for Prado? What is the interest? Plus 175 for a Prado knockout is a better tag than plus 165 Azaitar by KO. I'm picking Prado to win. I think he's very live for the knockout. The way that Azaitar fights, he walks into the fire because he throws a ton of fire. I think he's getting caught and KO'd. I like the minus 117 Prado money line side, but he probably is winning it inside of the distance. Just to look at something here, Prado inside distance plus 135. I'm rather confident it's going to be knockout too, which is better at plus 175. So give me Francisco Prado to chin Ottman Azaitar in our featured bout. Next fight on the card, we got Jack Della Maddalena versus Basil Hafez in our co-main event of the evening. I'm picking Jack Della Maddalena. You guys already knew that. Of course I was picking Jack Della. You know I'm all over the Jack Della fanhood. You know what I'm saying? I'm a fan of his style. I think he's got awesome boxing. He's super slick. He's powerful. The way he moves is special. I think he's an extraordinary talent that is only 26. And I think, ranked now number 14 in the world, is poised to make a run at some point and become a top player in the UFC welterweight division. So many savages on the come up at welterweight right now. I think that welterweight might become one of the hottest divisions, period. I mean, it's already been a poppin' division, but even better in the next 2 years because you got killers, Renat Fakhretdinov, Shavkat who's in the mix, Ian Gary, Jack Della Maddalena, Mike Malott out of Canada. There's a lot of killers at that 170-pound division. And I think JDM, best boxer of them all. Straight hands, JDM's that guy. He was supposed to fight Sean Brady last week. Then he was supposed to fight Josiah Harrell last week. And then he says, I'm sticking around because my fights got canceled. Get me a fight next weekend. And they get a ballsy Basil Hafez to jump in. And I think it's going to be a first-round knockout. I can't see Jack Della Maddalena losing this bout. I'm picking him by KO. There is Basil Hafez, who I'll tell you, looks fucking intense, man. Shredded to the gills. Very serious look on him. He's coming to win. I mean, he is a pretty dangerous pressure fighter who does have a grappling base, has grappled with the likes of Gordon Ryan in competition and gone to decision. So that's rather impressive. But I think that with JDM, he's going to be caught on the feet because I don't think Jack Della's getting bullied on the mat in this fight here. There is the face-off between these two. Intense face-off for sure. Basil Hafez staring down at him, intensely staring into his eyes. Listen, I think Basil Hafez is definitely coming to win. He's going to bring pressure, look to strike. He comfortably switches stances, but he's going to walk into big shots, and Jack Della is going to set him up. It's going to be a JDM knockout, and I'm going to say first round KO for Jack Della Maddalena. Now, as far as the odds, yes, he's wide, minus 550 for Jack Della Maddalena. Basil Hafez, plus 400. I think this fight's going under at minus 200, and Jack Della Maddalena by TKO, it's minus 275. That is going to be my official prediction. Unfortunately, this is not a fight that you really can money line. If you really want to get any sense of plus money, you round prop it. I mean, not even. Bet online is minus 150 for Della in round one. Della wins by TKO in round one. Minus 110. I mean, he's probably getting a TKO in the first round, but Basil Hafez is in shape. I mean, who's to say he doesn't get into the second round? It's not impossible. It's not a plus money line. I'm going to call, though, first round knockout. I mean, you'll probably hit if you snipered that round prop. It's just not a plus money tag, which is what I want. Minus 550, Jack Della Maddalena, super wide favorite, but should be a sure winner in this matchup. I like the fight. I'm glad Jack Della Maddalena gets the fight. Main event of the evening. If you guys haven't yet, make sure you smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. We got Holly Holm versus Mayra Bueno Silva. Now, I've been picking Holly Holm to win, and I've said I got to ride with her against, the farther back ranked girls until the wheels fall off for Holly Holm. Yes, she's 41, nearly 42 years of age. She doesn't seem to be slowing down just yet, and she still looks in damn good shape. We'll pull up the scales and check these ladies out. First, let's bring up Mayra Bueno Silva. I mean, looks like Mayra Bueno Silva usually does. And then there's Holly Holm, who looks damn lean, nearly 42. She still looks pretty solid, though. I mean, she still looks in great shape. I think she looks like she did last time out. There's an intense face-off. I just see Holly Holm as the better fighter. Even when they faced off, I'm like, nah, Holly's got her. Holly's got her number. I think that Holly Holm is the better striker. I think she's the physically stronger fighter of the two, the better wrestler. Probably pure jiu-jitsu I'd give to Mayra Bueno Silva, but I don't see Holm putting herself in stupid spots to be submitted. So expect a Holly Holm win. Expect her to be able to style on a Bueno Silva on the feet and control her a lot, though, against the cage. Now, I will say, Bueno Silva is a pretty good kickboxer, but fights better against a kickboxer who doesn't have the technical capabilities of a former boxing champion of Holm and the former UFC champion. If you look, Menan Farrow was able to beat Bueno Silva, found some nice side kicks from distance. Holm can take things from that fight because they do have a somewhat similar striking style. And then also note that Holm is so physically strong. She can control against the clinch. It's a small cage too. Holm's best bet, though. I mean, moneyline minus 170. She's probably going to win it. That would be the best bet for you. Now, for Holm, the best bet is her getting a TKO. For her career, for her stock, if Holm is looking to move into contention for a world title against Juliana Pena potentially, or whoever else, I doubt Raquel Pennington, Holm. It would probably be Pena Holm. That's the only thing I can see. She needs to be impressive. A grind-heavy and average win over Bueno Silva, though impressive and great for the resume and keeps her there. If you want to put your name into the hat extremely powerfully and likely, it's going to be a TKO. Holm by TKO is plus 500. Holm in the later rounds, 3rd, 4th, and 5th, I'd say is rather live for a TKO against Bueno Silva, who has not been longer and, in my opinion, potentially fatigues in that 3rd round. So then you got 4th and 5th. If Holm has a good amount of steam left, can really turn it on, put the nitrous on, take off, TKO, Holm, she can really put it on her. This is a lucky thing, bro. This is a little lucky self-dab right here. I think that Holm by TKO is live at plus 500. Now, my official method of victory prediction is going to be Holm to win it on the judges' scorecards. But I have to be real, man. I think Bueno Silva can fatigue late, and Holm can capitalize on that and then pull off a TKO. It is a big plus 500 tag. Moneyline is way safer. The TKO at plus 500 would be a Holm Hail Mary. Now, I will also look up Holm in rounds 3, 4, and 5. Holm in round 3 plus 2,200. Holm in round 4 plus 2,500. And Holm in round 5 plus 3,000. So just a couple of bucks could make you a lot if you did decide to throw a little something down on the round props in this fight. Not something I'm like necessarily suggesting you do because, you're really playing, what is it? Darts. I'm going to say arrow roulette. You're really playing darts, man, with that one. But I think there is a chance. Really, it's more like playing roulette because it depends on Holm going for the finish. I'm thinking Holm for the win, the better side. Minus 500 TKO. Maybe your round prop in 3, 4, and 5 with an ever so light sprinkle. Holm should get it done. She's a minus 170 favorite. Bueno Silva, the plus 145 dog. I just do not believe that Bueno Silva is the girl that's going to beat Holm here. Now, we're not done yet, guys. We got to talk about some parlays to play. Let's talk these parlays, all right? We're looking at the card, and I want to parlay something up. Now, I'm going to go from bottom all the way up. I'll ask myself between every matchup would I consider parlaying this fighter. Ailin Perez over Ashley Evans Smith. I'm going to say not interested, at least for this one, for the simple reason we don't know what we're going to get from Evan Smith. Probably Ailin Perez wins, though. Munoz, Carl Deaton. Pretty sure Munoz wins, but still for this first parlay, I'll leave him out. Maksum, I think he's getting it done. Evan Elder, Valdéz. I'm pretty confident Elder wins, but I'm also feeling like I might leave him out of this one as well. Melquizael, Costa, Austin Lingo. Am I going to play with Melquizael? Now I got to look up this whole card. What if I just want to go prelim only? Melquizael Costa brings you to minus 114 if you had Maksum Costa parlay. And then if you did add Munoz to your slate, now you got plus 185. This is a little prelim parlay without throwing in a dog. Now, is it crazy? Is it crazy if we threw in Tucker Lutz, Francisco Prado parlay together? I don't think it's a bad idea. Plus 347 could definitely be a hitter. And if you also added Duraev, now you got plus 950. So if you got two of my dogs on the card with Lutz and Duraev, then you got a close money favorite in Prado, you bring yourself at a pretty nice plus money tag. You don't want Prado in there. You maybe want to play Jack Della. You still get plus 556 if you had JDM on your slate, which is not all that bad, man. It's not bad at all. Now I'm going to do a little bit more of like a favorite confidence parlay. Let's throw the likes of Holm on our slate. Let's go Holm, Jack Della Maddalena, and Azat Maksum, plus 135 for those three to get it done, which I think is rather likely to happen here at plus 135. Now, I want to also do like a straight degeneracy play, not even all my picks, but just like a live dog section. What if you went Istela Nunes, who I thought was a live dog after the face-offs, and how stick Dudakova looked, with the pick flip underdog, Terrance McKinney, plus 519 for those for a little dog degeneracy. And then if you also had a Duraev in there, you got plus 1354. And if Lutz also came through, we got plus 3,332 for a four-way dog play. Now, obviously, the likelihood of four dogs hitting, we sniping them out, it's up to you. It's up to you on that one right there. It'd be a riskier play, though, for sure. Big plus money, but a risky play. Absolutely riskier play. All right, Evan Elder with the likes of Alexander Munoz. You do get plus 103. I think that there's a real fair chance that this one hits too. And then if you want to just keep it on the prelim, so you did add Ailin Perez at plus 200, this could happen. But obviously, it's not like a great tag. And to make anything, you got to kind of attack it. Like if you want to make 50, then you got to hit it with at least 25. But if you want to do like a light play and maybe just throw 5 down, let me see if I can get you a pretty savage main card play. And Holm. Plus 606. Prado, Duraev, Holm, Jack Della brings me to plus 735. I think this is a sneaky main card parlay right here. I like this one. This is good for the main card. Now you add in more dog savagery. Terrance McKinney, if you played him, or you keep him out and you ride with my guy, Tucker Lutz, who I've been picking all week. Prado, Duraev, Holm, Jack Della, Tucker Lutz, plus 1871. I definitely think this is a real potential hitter, man. I think so. Now, if you go just straight ladies picks, because I want to do a female play, we got Norma Dumont, minus 138 to get it the win. Holm, plus 174. Ailin Perez. I'm not putting Dudakova in it, so I guess we'll just throw Nunes. If I go with the women, if my picks are 3-1, because I added in Istela Nunes, who technically I did pick against, though I didn't like Dudakova on the scale, plus 1,012 for these ladies. Am I 75% accuracy with the women? It seems possible here, man. I don't think this is a crazy ladies parlay either. There's a lot of ways you can play it, man. You know I'm going to end up getting carried away with something crazy to finish out. It's just what I have to do now. We just got to go fucking nuts and finish it out with some chaos. Azat Maksum. All right, we're at plus 280 for 4. Oh, it's terrible. Tucker Lutz. This is just a savage prelim parlay. A lot of favorites, man. Damn. Like, I got to add in Duraev. Plus 2,019. Terrance McKinney, plus 4,664. But it's like I want to leave out Elder and Munoz a lot. Even you can leave out Melquizael Costa, though, if you start going dog central. If you went Tucker Lutz, Duraev, McKinney, and Azat Maksum, and then at this point you might as well add a Jack Della, plus 1,744. Add in Holm here, plus 2,829. I can get ballistic. I can go all day with some potential parlays to play. Guys, I hope you enjoyed another weigh-in recap show. This one was a lot of fun. I'll be live for the whole card tomorrow, so keep your eyes peeled. Also, some interesting news that Jamahal Hill vacated the title because he's injured, so hoping that we get an announcement who might be potentially fighting for the vacant belt, which would be an awesome video to drop. Definitely looking forward to doing that one. Maybe I do a Jamahal Hill one tomorrow morning. You shall see, so keep your eyes peeled on the channel. But definitely, it's a 100% that I will be live on the channel for the entire UFC Vegas 77 card. So join me for the Fight Companion. Much love, my people. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. I appreciate all of you for your continued support. If you have nothing to say in those comments, make sure to drop a W in the chat. But I really want to know, throw me your lock of the card, throw me your favorite underdog lock of the card, and also let me know who you got in the main event of the evening. I appreciate you, my people, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace, everybody.